a bit of a torrid time, but now the men in yellow and white have to come out and pick up the pieces. Not many sides can give Wigan a 20-point lead and hope to win, but what will Gary Hetherington have been saying, Mike, during the half-time interval?
Well, he obviously would be dissatisfied with the defensive pattern, but effort, very good indeed. He'd want to talk about pride, and I think it's all a matter of trying to get those early points. If they can snare a try within the first 5 minutes and then apply that pressure that they showed in the first 15 minutes of the game, then who knows?
Wigan enter the arena again. Both sides then out from the dressing rooms. Peter Hutton's had his spies inside the dressing sheds. What's been said, Peter?
We've been talking to the statsmen of the two sides. First of all, the territorial advantage went convincingly Wigan's way. 60% of the time was spent in Sheffield's half, 40% of the time in the Wigan half. As for the top tacklers, well, there were some clear leaders on both sides, hard-working sides, both of them. For Sheffield, Paul Broadbent and Andy Young, both 18 tackles each, whilst for Wigan, it was Mike Cassidy, who again was a leading man. Cassidy with 16 tackles in this game. Cassidy, the top tackler in both of Wigan's previous matches this season, both in the pre-season and against St Helens. And Mick Cassidy, another big stint from him today.
Sean Edwards, 2 tries from him. He's on the verge of a hat-trick on this opening day. This opening night, should we say. And Wigan giving notice to the rest of the First Division that their half-back partnership seems to be working well. We're live and exclusive then from Don Valley here in Sheffield. It's the Eagles against Wigan, and Wigan ahead by 26 points to 6 at the start of this second half. Can the Eagles rescue something from the wreckage of this performance so far? They really did mix it with them early on in the first half. Then Wigan got the measure of them, got their breath, found their feet, and that was the end of it as far as Sheffield were concerned in that first half. Although Hugh Waddell and his appearance, it really did inject a little bit of life when life was certainly seemed to be ebbing out of the Sheffield Eagles at one stage. Hampson hangs on despite the attention of Farrell and Richard Price. Now it's with a fire. Here's Dennis Betts.
So important for Sheffield to get stuck in very early indeed. They can't allow this machine that Wigan are so famous for, an attacking machine, to get into the swing of things. And you've got a man like Martin O'Fire with so much speed out wide. This is a very wide field.
Sean Edwards with the kick downfield. Edwards, the man who scored 2 tries in that first half. He must like the Don Valley because he ran in 2 tries on Wigan's last appearance here. That's the aerial shot of this field at Don Valley. It's a very wide pitch, tailor-made for men like Martin O'Fire to use their speed down the wings. But that's good play from Sheffield Eagles. This is Richard Price. Philip Clark off injured, of course, after that collision in the closing moments of that first half, as Waddell carries the battle into the Wigan half of the field. But if we can pick up the latest news of the Wigan and Great Britain forward. Peter Hutton again.
Good news on Phil Clark. He is okay. Obviously, he took a bad bang to the head, but there's nothing to worry about. He's not going to come back on this game just as a precaution, but he is all right. There's nothing seriously wrong with him.
That's good news indeed. It's the last tackle for Sheffield Eagles. Aston stinks the ball forward. Hampson content to let it run out.
Once again, we see the skills of this Mark Aston. Beautiful little kick through there. Hampson allowing it to go past.
It's Wigan's feed at the scrum. They have to make a tunnel now. The hookers have got a chance to strike for the ball. The Eagles claiming that Crompton was offside. Referee having none of it, wants the scrum to reform. That'll be Wigan's ball, and it is. McGinty's the dummy half. Hard work being put in here by Mark Aston. There he is again. That's 3 on the run. Aston has helped to bring down. Broadbent adding the final touch. Betts now. Here's Skerritt and Lucas. Drops ball. Farrell in at dummy half. He looked like he was trying to get the ball away then, but clung on as Skerritt brought him down. Aston. Waddell, he drops it, surrenders it to Martin Crompton. Sheffield are assisting their own downfall.
My word, there was a silly mistake there from Waddell. He took his eyes off the ball. Maybe Sheffield will be served better if they keep the ball flowing wide rather than trying to get it through the forwards. This Wigan defence have really tightened up now.
Quick thinking there, though, from David Maiko. Not the best play the ball in the world from Andy Platt. Maiko onto it quickly, and so Sheffield in possession with Powell. This is Broadbent. Handling errors all square, 5 apiece. Powell is looking round for support there, and there was simply none. The Sheffield Eagles side had started walking. It's the last tackle. Now McAllister hoists the high midfield bomb. A tester for Hampson. Safe and sound. Good chasing, though, by Young. Penalty. He can't pinch the ball in rugby league anymore.
Lovely take here by Hampson. Shows you the quality and the skill of this man. Good tackle there by Andy Young. But the ball was reefed away right in front of the referee, Robin Whitfield. Another silly mistake. Well, you see the ball being reefed out. No doubt about it. Paul Carr, the culprit.
So Wigan able to take the sting out of the situation, roll forward themselves. That's good tackling at that time by Carr on Lucas. This is Platt. He's made such a difference. 5 minutes of this second half gone. Wigan very much in the vanguard of this match. McGinty, the man who picks up at first receiver. It's the last tackle. Edwards. Dangerous little ball, an inventive kick across the face of play. Look at the way they move up. They tackle the man behind his own try line. Great play from Wigan.
This was a wonderful kick here by Edwards. McAllister, the big man, he takes some stopping, but here they come. A fire throws him to it. Skerritt came in late, the resulting dropout from underneath the post.
Hampson collects it. Eagles coming to meet him. Hampson is able to make 12, 13 metres. A fire. It looks like Wigan are on their way to their first win on the first day of the season for the first time in 4 years. But can Sheffield produce anything to keep them out? Can Sheffield produce anything to rescue the match? They've got to get hold of the ball, and it's in dangerous hands when it's with Bell. Last tackle. Lydon hoists the kick. And that narrow in-goal area I was telling you about coming to the Eagles' rescue. It'll be a tap on the Sheffield Eagles 20-metre mark.
Good play there by Sheffield. They put a lot of pressure on Lydon then. That's why the kick went astray.
And there's the very narrow in-goal area they have here at the Don Valley. Farrell, Broadbent with the shout inside of him.
Well, Sheffield's still trying to use these forwards when they would be better served like this to get it out wide.
That's a good ball from Powell. He managed to bring the player into it. It was the substitute Hughes. Powell again. He's at the heart of everything that Sheffield are trying. There he is again from dummy half. Ashton this time.
Come on, son! Play on!
Hampson running strongly. Ashton interfering with Hampson as he tried to get to his feet.
Well, it's so disheartening for a team. Nice little kick, and there you see Ashton just pulling him to the ground. Hampson milked it for all it was worth.
Cassidy restarts then for Wigan. Here's Skerrett.
You can feel the confidence in this Wigan side. The forwards now sharing the work. They're eager to get involved.
Crompton and Betts. As I said in the first half, quite a record, Dennis Betts. Not missed a match now in 90 fixtures for Wigan. That is some record, isn't it? Edwards. Attempted drop goal from Edwards. It just went wide of the post.
Good thinking by Edwards there. Just a little bit astray with the direction. That really is good thinking, even though they hold that commanding 20-point lead. 26-6 Wigan lead the Sheffield Eagles.
Dale Lawton coming back for number 11, Andy Young. Gary Hetherington just trying to inject a bit of new life. Reintroducing Lawton. 26-6, his side trail. 10 minutes of this second half gone. Sheffield Eagles, this is their 9th season as a professional outfit. Darryl Powell, number 6, has played in every one of them. Hugh Woodell. Now McAllister. 3 to greet him. Whether they're 26-6 up or just a couple of points adrift, Wigan are so keen. Here's Robinson. Shrugs one off. Almost brings Martin of Fire down. He's such an elusive character. He still gets it away. What a prospect Robinson is. McGinty. Wigan champions for the past 3 years. One of an elite band of only 3 clubs to actually achieve the league and premiership double. They're in the mood again here with Bell.
Once again, that support play coming to the fore. Nice little pass there by the hooker.
Edwards switches the direction of the attack to Cassidy. He brings Hampson into it. They just don't seem to be able to bring these Wigan players down. Not without any difficulty anyway. Lawton eventually does so. Now it's with Crompton. Crompton looking busy, and he finds Skerrett, and Skerrett's going all the way. Kelvin Skerrett. The supporting act arrived. The big shout came. The ball went inside, and Skerrett did the rest.
Stones Bit, a championship replay. Once again, we see Crompton throwing the dummies. What a lovely inside pass. It was only short, but it was sweet. And the forward power takes him over. Skerrett, just watch this. Different angle. There's a little dummy, shows it. Look at it pop up. Oh, beautiful play. Skill and strength combined together. Result, 4 points.
Kelvin Skerrett with the try. Joe Lydon with the extra 2. It's 32 points to 6. No two ways about it. Wigan are back in business. Look out, the rest of the First Division. Martin Crompton, many people fancied Martin Crompton to join their staff. Wigan moved in the summer, couldn't command a regular place at Warrington because of the presence of Kevin Ellis, and so Wigan moved in with a bid and eventually snapped him up. And probably Crompton and the emergence of Jason Robinson, the reason why at the end of the day Wigan decided they could let a supreme talent like Andy Gregory go to Leeds.
Well, it's early days yet, but there was a little bit of doubt. Well, not a doubt perhaps, but more of a shadow over whether Martin Crompton could fill those boots. Well, I certainly think that his display tonight has gone a long way to ensuring that he will be yet another success story in the cherry and white.
And so might that fellow, the number 14, Jason Robinson. 17 years old, that's all. This is his debut tonight. A half-back, Great Britain Academy International. Strength in depth, the key words at Central Park.
The key words to success.
Andy Platt. They were desperate to keep him in these shores and not let him go to Parramatta. And they succeeded this week. And it's been a totally different forward pack. Crompton and Edwards, they've got the link together if this evening at the Don Valley is anything to go by. Edwards, it's one for a fire to chase. Gamson took it on the full. He wasn't behind his own line though.
Good play by Gamson. You saw how he turned his body to protect himself so that the ball could not be jolted out. Good football, good thinking. And that man in the screen there, Shaun Edwards, he certainly brought a little bit more vitality into this Wigan side that was missing last week in that Charity Shield. But interesting to note, Eddie, the way that Edwards has gone first man and pushed Crompton out to the second, and it seems to be working a lot better.
Cassidy in possession. There's Jason Robinson and there's Dean Bell. Robinson on the run around and decides to have a little go himself, trying to duck underneath the tackle from Hugh Waddell. Betts. Cassidy and Edwards. Now Bell. Light. Skerritt again. Again the strength of Skerritt. Again Skerritt dragging Wigan towards that Sheffield try line. It's the last tackle. That's how close Wigan are. And here's another try. Platt. Andy Platt celebrates. He celebrates the new 2-year deal. And he couldn't believe, I don't think, just how easy it was.
The Stones Better Championship replay came about because of that strong run by Skerritt. Lydon fumbling with the ball, but that was enough to hold the pass up. That split second was enough to move the defence forward. You'll see it here. You notice how he juggles with it. There we see the defence caught out. Once again, Sheffield not moving up, together in one straight line. When one man comes out of the line like this, that is a simple way to score a try. Good support play by Andy Platt.
Andy Platt. Another try for Wigan. 36 points to 6 it is at the moment. Lydon. 6 out of 8. Make that 6 out of 9. Touch judge whacks it away. 36-6, Wigan in the lead.
You see it there, let's just stop it. That's the man, that's the culprit. They're not moving in a straight line. The gap appears, poor David Maiko, and the try is scored.
And I think Andy Platt said as he picked himself up off the floor then that he was trying to get out of the way rather than score that try. But he had a big grin on his face, and no wonder. there's no doubt Wigan are back with a vengeance.
Yes, some forwards just hate scoring a try. They get embarrassed about it sometimes, don't they?
Well, they might be embarrassed a few more times at Wigan this season, we should see. Sam Panapa is downstairs now, the man who had to come off injured in this match, or was he injured? Peter Hutton can answer that question, perhaps.
Well, Sam, first of all, were you injured when you came off, or was it just a question of rotating the backs for Wigan?
Just probably rotating the backs for Wigan, and also I got a bit of a knock on my back, and I just had a bit of an injury there. So things are looking all right to get back on there.
But apart from that injury, things have gone great for Wigan today.
Yeah, that's right. We wanted to come down here with a good start, to the competition, and it looks like we're heading that way.
Obviously, you're a former Sheffield Eagles player as well. What do you make of their chances this season?
I think they got every chance, as much as any other teams that are in the competition. So I hope they do well.
What about your own ambitions? All right, obvious then. Back to you, Ed.
Get a place in this Wigan side, I would imagine. Sam Panapa talking to Peter Hutton there. How long to go? Well, on my watch, Sheffield Eagles have still got over 20 minutes to survive here. 36-6 they trail. And Wigan, in form like this, in the mood to score yet more points. Lydon hoists the bomb. Edwards is after it. He wants it. But Gamson was very brave as he heard Edwards thundering into him.
Good play again by Gamson. He certainly hasn't shirked his job tonight. He's taken everything they've thrown at him.
McAllister does well and loads the pass to Plange. Now Plange can move. This is a great run from David Plange. The strength. He was straight through Hansen. He couldn't get away from Bell. Bell lying all over him. Now, in Australia, Dean Bell might well be in the sin bin.
And so he should be. That was a professional foul. And that nearly came about. Good run here by David Plange. Now, being injured and receiving treatment was Paul Carr. There you see him on the right. And that really could have worked out for a try. He was just jogging back. But good play there by Plange. That will lift the confidence of this Sheffield Eagles, should I say.
Here's Waddell. 60 minutes of this match have gone. Wigan in the driving seat, well and truly. And a little knock on here from Aston doesn't help the Eagles' cause, oh dear.
There are times when nothing has to be said.
Well, the Eagles lost only 2 home league matches to Lee and Oldham last season, but they're getting off the mark here in the big league with an emphatic defeat by the looks of things. McAllister's moved forward into the pack to try and add a bit of weight to stiffen the resistance up front. Cassidy drops it. Third is McAllister. Penalty against Wigan for offside. See, they're 36-6 up, but they still don't want to concede anything.
Yes, they're very eager indeed. And isn't it amazing to see on the Wigan side, Dean Bell and Joe Lydon, they've certainly had big games tonight. It's amazing when they sign and announce that they've signed a new centre. The 2 centres on display work their hearts out.
Here come the Eagles again then. But what defence from Wigan. Ian Hughes trying to burrow his way through, but nothing there for him. Carr's worked hard.
This is the time where Sheffield have to start doing their moves, trying to build a bit of confidence. Okay, the game may have gone, the 2 points have been lost, but they've got to try to build for the confidence for the rest of the season, and scoring a couple of tries would help them greatly.
This now is Maiko. Powell is the dummy half. This is Broadbent. He finds Waddell. It's the last tackle. Wigan are defending magnificently, despite the 30-point advantage. Crompton dropped it, but it didn't matter because Jason Robinson was there to sweep up. He's such an elusive young character to bring down, isn't he?
Nice kick through by Powell. Crompton went down with no fear, but that was good sweeping up by the youngster Robinson.
Platt is now held, says the referee. The second attempt. Lucas. Skerritt clinging on. Fifth tackle. Lydon. One of the men obviously under threat by the arrival, when West's involvement in the Winfield Cup is over, of Andrew Farrer. But as Mike Stevenson says, he and Dean Bell really have worked the socks off tonight for the Wigan cause. Waddell wasn't watching that. Oh dear me, well, when you're losing, and when things like that happen, it doesn't help you.
Total lack of concentration there. You saw quite clearly Waddell wasn't expecting it to start with, but he had his eyes off the ball. You must at all time keep those eyes open and watch what is going on around you.
Neil James comes on for Paul Carr, the Aussie. Remember, Sheffield Eagles have got two more Aussies to come into the fold here at Don Valley. Gary Jack and Bruce Maguire. Maguire coming back for a second stint.
Well, Maguire will certainly bolster their defence in the forwards. He's strong and tough, and Jack will add an extra dimension in attack for them.
Cassidy, the dummy half. Crompton and Edwards. I fancy Edwards wants the hat-trick. Lucas, the supporting act arrived from Platt. Neil James had to watch him every inch of the way. Oh, Wigan's skill on that ball is mesmerising at times. They move it so quickly. Here they come again with Edwards. Out the back door. And so close was Crompton. But good defence from Sheffield. But the invention of this Wigan side.
Oh, lovely play. Lydon the ball back inside. Crompton just didn't have the strength. But as you mentioned, Eddie, excellent defence there. Scrambling defence from Sheffield.
But look where they are. They're right on their own try line. And Wigan are intent on keeping them there. Darryl Powell, he's got through from those. Support arrives. It was risky. It came off. Anthony Farrell clinging on. Here's Waddell. He released the pass as well.
The Wigan defence make it very difficult now in the latter stages of the game. They're still moving up quickly, especially out wide. They're trying to force Sheffield down that middle.
Richard Price. Good run. Gamson. Over the top and straight into Edwards. Well, it's careless. That's all. They're trying to force the pace. They're trying to get something from it. But that was careless.
Full credit to, though, Mark Gamson trying to keep the ball alive. As we mentioned earlier, Sheffield really, they've just got to try to build up their confidence. If they can grab another try, it will help them for the season.
This is Hampson. O'Fire hasn't seen much of it recently, so he's drifted in field. Edwards. Referee shouts play on. It hit someone in flight, that, so they don't have to give him the time.
Good chasing there. We saw prop forward Kelvin Skerritt, the first man on the scene. When you start getting prop forwards running through the areas in your screen, he really has had a big game also.
Pow. Sheffield can hardly get out of their own half. Last tackle again. They're just outside their own quarter, never mind the half. McAllister will run it though, but they've got him and they're pushing him into touch. It's on the 6th tackle, so it'll be the changeover.
Well, he's a big fella, isn't he, McAllister? But when you've got weight in numbers, it doesn't matter how big you are. Wigan preparing now to use their forwards. They're setting up for a more long move.
Lydon just backs the tackle away. Can't get away from those two though. James and Farrell. Bell. Wigan won the title last season by 8 points from St Helens. They lost on the opening day that day. Crompton to Edwards, hat-trick. They're not going to lose this one. They picked up their first win on the opening day for 4 years, and Edwards has got a hat-trick into the bargain.
Stones Better Championship replay, hat-trick time. Crompton, the man who made it, the neat chip over. He saw that there was no sweeper. The fullback was held back, Gamson. And Sean Edwards in for the 3rd try. Lovely play here by Crompton. He saw no one was at home in the sweeping department. Drags in the fullback, Gamson. And Johnny on the spot for so many times last season continues and gets his 3rd try.
Sean Edwards, the hat-trick. Martin Crompton has been on the end of every one of them. Crompton has created each of Edwards' 3 as Lydon pops the customary 2 and tags it on the end. Watch Crompton here.
Now look at Crompton, watch it come over. Let's just stop it there. There's no sweeper. He knows that, and that's why the 4 points was forthcoming.
(42-6), Wigan lead. Downstairs, I would imagine a very dejected Paul Carr is talking now with Peter Hutton.
Well, hasn't gone according to plan today, has it?
Terrible. First 20 we worked really hard, and just failed all the way after that. So we're just going to have to work a bit harder in future.
Do you think it will make a big difference when Gary Jack and Bruce Maguire turn up here at Sheffield from Australia?
For sure. Their experience is just what we need. So, yeah, I think the boys are giving 100% out there, but that experience just makes that difference.
Just finally on you, you're shivering here. It's a cold night, isn't it?
Yeah, cold for an English summer night, yeah.
Thanks, but one other fact down here, Eddie. They're talking about people in Tenerife watching.
Well, here now is McAllister. McAllister, though, slid out on the tackle. There's Sam Panapa, who's just come back on. The pass, though, inside was from Farrell.
Full credit to Sheffield. They certainly haven't thrown the towel in. They've kept trying. They've just been outclassed by a far better side on the night.
Wigan's possession from the scrum with Panapa. Now Bell.
I just get the funny feeling, Eddie, that Wigan might try something for a kick downfield for Martin O'Fire. We haven't seen him for a while. Maybe with this score at a comfortable 42-6, we might see the flyer away.
It's being worked out that way. But Martin O'Fire under John Money has got this roving commission. Can hug the touchline or drift in field as he is doing now and simply hunt the opportunities down. It's the last tackle. Here's a kick downfield from Lydon, but O'Fire about 20 metres ahead of that ball, and David Clans would like the ground to open up and like it to swallow him.
Well, this is one piece that he'll rub off the video, won't he?
One thing about Sheffield Eagles, Mike, they won't come up against a Wigan every week of the season.
That there is no doubt. Wigan really have got themselves back on the rails, haven't they?
Panafa. Back injury, but he's out there. And he's come on for young Mike Cassidy. Here's Robinson. A prodigious young talent, this man.
A lot of credit must also go to John Money because of the fact that he's used his three quarters, especially the centres. He's had them running down the middle, in amongst the forwards. The gaps have come.
Skerrett. Well, after a very bright and breezy opening, the Eagles have had no answer to Wigan's power and flair and play like that. They're in again. Dennis Betts. That's his second of the night. Dennis Betts just spinning away. 8th try for Wigan on a glorious night for them.
Stone's bit of championship replay. Wonderful ball here by Crompton again. He's mesmerised this Sheffield defence. He just held the ball up slightly. It was enough for the Sheffield defence to just hesitate. Edwards, Crompton wanting it. Look at that. That's all it needed. It doesn't take much. Sometimes the simplest of things create the wonderful breaks. Dennis Betts in for his second try of the night.
Well, when the going gets tough, Wigan get going, don't they? Charity Shield last Sunday, 17-0. Were they wobbling? Was there a chink or two in the armour? The answer tonight is emphatically that Wigan are back. And they have the title 3 times in the last 3 years under John Money. And they're after number 4. Dennis Betts, as you watch Joe Lydon, is limping off. Lydon lining up the conversion attempt, just didn't quite make it. Well, he's managed 8, I think. He's managed 7. What on earth would Frano Bottiger have made of all that? 46-6. Wigan just 4 short of the half century. And there's Bobby Charlton, Manchester United director, former great England and Manchester United player. And I know that Bobby and a number of the Manchester United officials and directors are very keen rugby league supporters and very keen supporters of Wigan. Been impressed by this young man tonight. Betts has limped off, and so Wigan now down to 12 men. They've run out of substitutes, and so they have to see out the game with 12 men. But with a 46-6 scoreline in their favour, don't think there's too many problems for them. It's with Lydon. Gamson's underneath it. He's been safe and sound at full-back. And there's John Money, Wigan coach, on the right of your picture, watching a thoroughly professional performance by his side here today.
There's been some credible performances from the Sheffield side. As you mentioned, Gamson, the full-back. Powell and Aston have worked exceptionally well. And also the hooker, Anthony Farrell. Paul Carr did his bit when he was on the field. So they've got a lot to work with. And as you mentioned before, Eddie, there's not many sides that can have so much talent like Wigan. Okay, they've hit a big team first up. But when Gary Jack and Bruce Maguire comes onto the paddock, they'll be a lot more competitive.
Last tackle it is for Sheffield Eagles. That's the halfway line. And there's just a basic lack of understanding at the moment. They are shell-shocked, they are demoralised. Here's plans for another run. Tried to get the ball away. Oh, Gamson hacked at that. Lydon got a hand to it. Lydon, I felt that up here.
Oh, when the ball comes through, just watch this. Lydon goes down. The boot goes in. It's a little bit further on than that, but Lydon came up counting the fingers.
He's all right, Lydon.
He was relieved to find that there was 5 on either hand.
Just the odd grimace from Joe Lydon. He went down bravely for that one, didn't he? Well, poor old Gary Hetherington, the Sheffield Eagles coach, who's looking forward to this match so much. There's a big fireworks display planned for the end of this. It's been a gala night here in Sheffield, the start of Sky Sports' big league on a Friday. And the fireworks on the pitch have all come from the men in blue and white. Credit the Eagles, though. They're coming forward. They're trying to find something, rescue something from this match. Look at the way Wigan are trying to get the ball back.
Well, the Wigan side will be eager to get that magical 50 mark. 4 points amiss from that. 46-6. They lead Sheffield Eagles.
Broadbent, that came off for him. This is Hughes. Now Powell and Waddell. Over the top from Waddell to Aston. Long pass to McAllister. The Eagles looking to finish with a flourish. Oh, Maiko just overran it. Play on, says the referee. It was the last tackle. It's the changeover.
Well, at long last, they did get the ball out wide. They caught Wigan napping there. Dean Bell was caught coming up far too quickly. He was left in no man's land. But unfortunately, Maiko couldn't drag that ball in.
Approaching full time on our watch. We're into stoppage time. It all depends what the timekeepers add on as they hack the ball downfield for a fire to chase. Hughes is there too, and Hughes allows the ball to run dead. And Fire looks a little bit disgusted that he ran all that way for nothing.
Well, the ball took a nasty break, didn't it? If it had gone the other way, then Martin would have had a smile as wide as Christmas Day.
We're half a minute into stoppage time. Powell. Price now. There's the full-time siren. The agony's over for Sheffield Eagles. A very, very creditable win for Wigan and this team of champions. 46-6. They finished the match with 12 men. Dennis Betts has ice on an injured knee, but Wigan have served notice to the rest. They have got